What's going on, everybody? This is MDENT313, and I'm back at y'all with another one. Listen, I want to talk about Aaron Rodgers. A couple of days ago, he was officially cut from the Jets, and I think it was a smart move by Aaron Glenn and the Jets organization. Unfortunately, right? All great things must come to an end, right? Rodgers, he isn't the same quarterback that he used to be, right? Even though Aaron Rodgers, when it comes from a passing perspective, no doubt about it, Aaron Rodgers is one of the greatest players to have ever graced the sport of the NFL, especially from the quarterback position. Aaron Rodgers, in my opinion, as much of a Peyton Manning fan I am, and my brother, he was a Tom Brady fan, and had a buddy that was a Drew Brees fan, and so on and so forth. Aaron Rodgers was the one who popularized and made it cool to have a high touchdown output with an extremely low turnover output, right? Man, Aaron Rodgers, he would put up crazy stats like 35 to 40 touchdowns, 3 to 4 interceptions for an entire season. He's not a 3-time MVP for nothing. Aaron Rodgers have put in work. He's a Super Bowl champion. He should have won multiple times. Listen, outside of Devontae Adams, he played with some very good receivers, but not great receivers, right? Donald Driver was a good receiver. I wouldn't call him elite. Javon Walker, good receiver, wouldn't call him elite, but very good receiver. Greg Jennings, very, very solid receiver, wouldn't call him great, but very good, right? Aaron Rodgers made things happen on the football field. Just unfortunately, being an older guy, a lot of what Aaron Rodgers did also, let me add this in there, especially in his younger days, man, Aaron Rodgers could really run the football. You know, he wasn't running like Cam Newton or Michael Vick, but Aaron Rodgers would take off on you. And Aaron Rodgers would act like he run. He was Patrick Mahomes way before Patrick Mahomes, and a much better passer of the football. Now, he wasn't as clutch as Patrick Mahomes, but, man, he was like Patrick Mahomes on steroids, man. Rodgers was a monster. But listen, man, at the end of the day, unfortunately, we all got to get older. Father Time waits for nobody. Aaron Rodgers, he was also coming off that, you know, that season-ending injury where he tore his Achilles, right? Very first game of the season, not this past season, but the season prior. You know, he was looking good, and, you know, unfortunately, he wasn't quite the same, you know, after he tore his Achilles. And ironically enough, it's looking like Kirk Cousins, unfortunately, he isn't the same after tearing that Achilles, man. When you have to plant and throw the ball, you know, step into your throws and step up and stepping into the pocket, physically you're not going to be the same. You're definitely not going to be the same mentally. When you're worried about getting hit, you're worried about protecting that injured limb, if you will, right? You're worried about, you know, if you get tackled, are you going to get back up? Everything hurts when you're older. I tell you what, man, sometimes just putting on my shoes hurt. Now, I can stand to lose a few pounds, but being older, man, you feel everything, man. And it's probably even harder to do it when you're as accomplished as Aaron Rodgers, right? How many quarterbacks have a Super Bowl? How many quarterbacks have a Super Bowl MVP? How many quarterbacks have the stats that Aaron Rodgers have? How many quarterbacks have 3 MVPs? However many first team, first team, what is that called? All-Pro first team, you know. He's done a lot. And he said that he wants to weigh his options to see. I'm telling you this, like this, if Aaron Rodgers decides to play, he's still better than some quarterbacks, but I'm not confident that he's enough to get it done, right? As you know, I've seen this story before with my favorite quarterback in particular, Peyton Manning. You know, he still, even though he went on to have a phenomenal run with the Denver Broncos, I could tell that he still wasn't that same Peyton Manning from Indianapolis after that neck surgery. Now he was still phenomenal the first couple of years, but his last 2 years it was a drastic it was a drastic cliff, if you will, right? He had to become a game manager, in which that was never Peyton Manning's brand of football. He had to become a game manager. He had to let the defense pretty much win the games. All he had to do was just manage them and not lose them and not turn the ball over, making a couple of occasional big plays. I believe Aaron Rodgers could be that guy, but if you're looking for the quarterback to really dominate and take over games, Aaron Rodgers isn't that anymore, unfortunately. Now, if Aaron Rodgers continues to if he chooses to resume his career, I would highly recommend that the Pittsburgh Steelers, if they're not going to go the Justin Fields route, which is what I would do, but if you're not going to go the Justin Fields route and you just hell-bent on not getting a quarterback in the draft or not getting a younger quarterback, listen, Aaron Rodgers, in my humble opinion, he's an upgrade over Russell Wilson, and he's not a mobile upgrade over Justin Fields, but he is a passer perspective upgrade over Justin Fields. The problem is going to come, though, when you're facing a defense that can keep, how can I put it? If you're facing a defense that can routinely keep pressure on Aaron Rodgers, those are the teams that you're going to have a hard time with, because he's not mobile like he used to be. The good news is he's not going to lose you football games. He isn't really going to throw the ball away a whole lot. But the team that I would most recommend if Rodgers decides to continue his career, the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I'm trying to think, if Myles Garrett leave the Cleveland Browns, I wouldn't recommend him, because that means that they're pretty much starting all the way over. But if Myles Garrett decides to stay and play for the Cleveland Browns and continue his career with the Cleveland Browns, I would recommend the Cleveland Browns. Those are my two teams for the AFC. For the NFC, everybody else is in full rebuild mode. Atlanta, they're going with Michael Penix. Washington has Jaden Daniels. Philly has Jalen Hurts. The Cowboys got Dak Prescott. Maybe New Orleans, but I don't think the Saints are anywhere near winning the Super Bowl, so that would kind of be a waste of time. So I'm not even going to pick a team in the NFC, because the teams that's in the NFC, it's the Eagles, the Lions, and it's everybody else. Maybe the 49ers if they come back healthy. Brandon Ayuk come back healthy. But they're on the downside. Christian McCaffrey, if he come back healthy, they'll be in the mix. But other than those three teams, the Rams getting rid of Cooper Kupp, I think they're going to take a step back. Even though Puka Nacua is a beast, but without Cooper Kupp, that's going to be a significant blow to their offense. And Matthew Stafford is 40 himself, and at this point in his career, Matthew Stafford is a better quarterback than Aaron Rodgers. Not all time, not prime for prime, but at this current juncture. So the Pittsburgh Steelers and Cleveland Browns are the only teams that I would recommend for Aaron Rodgers. If you're not going to play for those particular teams and organizations, you might as well just hang it up. Players of Aaron Rodgers' caliber, it's Super Bowl or bust for them. They have no other need to play the game. They're already filthy rich. They're already well accomplished. Only Super Bowls are the only reason for guys like that. But hey, listen, man, shout out to Aaron Glenn. He's going to build this team in his image and in his making and his liking, and it ain't nothing wrong with that, my friend. We miss you here in Detroit. We wish you much success. Wish Aaron Rodgers much success in whatever he decides to do. As a football fan, I appreciate you all, man. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Like, share, and subscribe to MDENT313, and I'll be back at you guys later. I'm out. Peace.